Let's be honest, have you ever tried to transcribe some audio and just found yourself staring at a progress bar, waiting and waiting? Well, today we're going to look at a project that just smashes that problem. It's an incredibly fast and, get this, surprisingly tiny transcription tool called Whisper Turbo MLX.
It's such a universal feeling, right? You've got an interview, maybe a lecture, and you just want the text. But turning that speech into words can feel like it takes an eternity. So why is that? What's the holdup?
Well, here's the thing. For a computer, making sense of human speech is some seriously heavy lifting. It's a really complex, resource-intensive job, and that creates a major bottleneck that can slow down entire workflows, whether you're a journalist on a deadline or a researcher trying to analyze data.
All right, so let's get into the solution. This is a project that completely rethinks how to approach transcription, focusing on speed and efficiency without making you buy a supercomputer.
So, say hello to Whisper Turbo MLX, or WTM for short. It's basically a supercharged version of the well-known Whisper model, but it's built from the ground up to fly on Apple Silicon using their MLX framework. And the three words you need to remember are fast, lightweight, and efficient.
Now this is where things get really wild. Yeah, it's fast, we know that. But the truly mind-blowing part? The entire thing, the whole shebang, is self-contained in a single Python file that has less than 300 lines of code. I mean, think about that. That is just unbelievably compact for what it does.
So how on earth is that possible? How do you pack that much performance into so little code? Let's pop the hood and take a quick look at the core components that make this little engine roar.
Okay, so from a high level, the flow is super straightforward. Audio goes in on one side, it gets processed by two key parts, an audio encoder and a text decoder, and then boom, clean text comes out the other side. Let's dig into those two middle steps. First up, you have the audio encoder. Just think of this as the system's ears. Its whole job is to listen to the raw audio and basically translate it into a special mathematical format, a log-ML spectrogram if you want to get technical, that the AI can actually understand and work with. So, once the audio has been converted into AI speak, the text decoder steps in. And if the encoder has the ears, then the decoder is the brain, or the translator. It takes all that complex numerical data and masterfully turns it back into the words and sentences we can actually read. This is really where the transcription magic happens.
But wait, there's more. WTM has this other really clever feature baked right in, one that gives you, the user, direct control over how it works. And it all boils down to a simple choice. Do you want speed or do you want precision?
It all comes down to one little parameter in the code: quick. By default, it's turned off. This means it uses a slower, more deliberate method that goes through the audio piece by piece. The result? A super accurate and smooth transcript. But if you flip that switch and set quick to true, it changes the game. It processes big chunks of audio all at once. It's way faster, but the text might come out a little bit choppy.
And the project's documentation gives us the perfect real-world example for this. Imagine you've got a mountain of audio files, and you just need the gist of what's in them. You can blast through them all using that quick mode, get those fast and dirty transcripts, and then feed those directly into an LLM to get instant summaries. It's all about choosing the right tool for the job.
Okay, talking about speed is one thing, but as they say, the proof is in the pudding. So let's look at the actual numbers. How does Whisper Turbo really perform when you put it head-to-head against the more standard options out there?
This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? We know it's supposed to be fast, but what does that actually look like when the stopwatch is running?
All right, here are the benchmark results. What we're looking at is a race between three contenders. First, the standard implementation from Hugging Face, which is kind of the default for many people. Second, the base MLX version of Whisper. And third, our star of the show, Whisper Turbo. And wow, the results are just staggering. Look at this. The standard Hugging Face version clocks in at about 7 seconds. The base MLX version does a lot better, cutting that down to 2.7 seconds, but then Whisper Turbo just comes in and demolishes them both, finishing the exact same job in only 1.4 seconds. That's a 5x speed up over the standard method. That is a massive difference. You know, the best thing about an awesome open source tool like this is that you can just go and try it yourself. So let's take a look at just how ridiculously easy it is to get this thing up and running on your own machine. And I'm not kidding. It really doesn't get any simpler than this. It's literally 2 steps. First, you open your terminal and type a standard pip install command. Then you just type WTM, point it at your audio file, and you're done. It's built to be as accessible and as painless as possible. You know, looking at this whole project, it leaves you with a really interesting thought. In the world of AI, we're so often focused on bigger, more complex models. But Whisper Turbo is this beautiful example of pure optimization and lean, clever design. And it makes you wonder, as AI keeps evolving, maybe the ultimate feature isn't just raw brute force power, but elegant simplicity.